in previous video we created a basic Spring Boot application. Let's get started with creation of a REST controller. So the module which we had is a parent module, then child module and class. Let's create a package for controller in the child module. Okay. So the naming convention is like when you are writing a package name, it should be in small case, no special characters, nothing. Like for a class name, we are going to start with capital letter, then we'll follow camel case, but here it is all small. Now we are going to create a Java class, a sample controller. Sorry, this is class, so we'll have SS capital, right? Now I want to refactor this in the controller, yeah. So just drag and drop refactor into the controller. So if you can see, no package name is there on the sample controller. Now after doing this, we have parent module in that child module in that controller package in that controller we have defined a simple class. Our aim is to build a REST controller, but this is not a REST controller so far. So for that we need to add an annotation called REST controller. So all this we are getting in the suggestions because we have added related dependencies in our pom.xml. This one, if you didn't watch the previous video, please watch that, then we can continue here. So the first thing that we are going to raise is a simple get mapping. So for that we need to have one more annotation get mapping. Any function name that you want to give, public void test get method. Okay, get is fine. Now let's make this return a string string, and then let's add, let's return the string. Hope you are doing well. Yeah, that's it. So control alt L to assign. So how the control flows is when the application is running, REST controller this class will be executed just because we have mentioned the annotation. Now we'll add a value over here. So that is a simple test get. So when we are going to hit this URL, the function below that is going to execute. So when we are going to hit this, we are going to get this string in our response. Let's save this and run this. It's loading. So we have to see which URL we need to hit. So it's like application URL followed by the mapping URL. So our application is running on local 8080 and localhost. So we'll open our postman and we'll write here localhost 8080 followed by our test get. Okay, yeah. So is it expecting something else? Oh, it's only test get and we should get hope you are doing well. Now we'll hit this. We should, yeah. So here we got a string which was written by this. So this was basically a simple get method where no user input was given, nothing was given. So now we'll write one more get mapping where we are expecting something from a user. So for getting the input from user also we have two types of get mapping. So first let's write this slash in double quote, sorry, slash API slash pargs slash, let's have this much as of now, then we public string test pargs. So whenever we hit API pargs, the function or the content which we are writing and the should get executed. Okay, so as of now we are going to expect URL like URL API pargs, then question mark attribute name value name. So let's write that. So when we are expecting something from the user, we'll add this annotation response body, and in the arguments to the function is add at the rate path variable. Then what is that path variable name? ID. That's it. Okay. So in this we are going to write a return hi, whatever the ID, or we'll say name, then we'll have one more string, hope you are doing good. Okay, so that was, so here we are going to get the name from the user and we are going to return this string. Since we are done with writing this, we'll try to rerun this. So when we are trying to rerun this, then our code will reflect. Now we'll try to hit this. We'll open postman and we'll try to write application URL followed by API slash args slash the thing not slash. Now the parameters that a user need to enter. Question mark name is equal to anonymous. Okay. Now we should get hi anonymous. Hope you are doing good. Sending request. No messages available. API args. Why? Okay, that was p args. Let's check it again. It's p args. Missing URL template variable name for method parameter of type string. So where are we doing wrong? Okay, so path where here we should give request param, annotation is wrong, and the mapping that we are going to do, name is equal to option 1. Okay, so we are going to give this option 1 in the URL, and whatever the value of option 1 it is there, that is going to be assigned to this name. Now we are going to rerun this. We'll wait for it to restart. Right. So now the option one is the name that it is expecting. So let's give that option one. So variable value of the option one will be assigned to the name. Now it should work fine. Yeah. Hi anonymous. Hope you are doing well. So here we have some other many more attributes in the request param. If we do control click on that, we can see we have value, we have name, we have required. So this required is like we want to have that field mandate or we have to give that as a default thing. So to cover all this in a single thing, we'll add a simple option here. Default value as none or all. We'll have all. If no name is given, we'll consider it as all. Now let's rerun this and we'll try to hit that again. So if we see if we are giving any value, value 1, we are getting high value one. If we are not giving anything, then the default value will be assigned. Okay, high all, which was our default value. Now we'll go for the URL param. So we'll copy this again. We'll try to implement the second method in the same manner. So here instead of pargs, we are going to give pargs second. Okay, no, okay, second, just to differentiate. Now here what I'm going to do is I'm going to consider the list of string as an incoming thing. This we need to import. This is if you want we can add, that is fine. We'll give names and we'll try to get name dot size -1. So this is like I'm getting name dot get. So it's like I'm getting the last name of that list just to make sure that we don't print everything, just I'm printing the last variable of those names. Let's wait for it to restart. Once it is started, we'll add 1, 2, 3. So here I'll get literal name, name 1, name 2, name, name 3, whatever it is. mem3, right? So now if we hit, we are getting p arg second is not found. Okay, URL is wrong, right? So it is like getting the last name of the list and it is printing. So this was we are catching user inputs. Now we have one more thing instead of request param, we have thing called path variable. Now we'll see the difference in a minute. So here p args third, that is parameter args third. Here we are going to add id, okay, or else we'll add name only. So that's fine. That doesn't make a difference. But here because we are adding the name itself here, so we need not to mention anything. Like we'll have the annotation different path variable, and we not need not to mention name is equal to some kind of other parameter string name. Okay, so this is fine, and we'll have name here. We'll see the difference in just a second. So it's like this is also expecting a single name, and this is also expecting a single name. This was a px and this was a px third. Let's restart and see the difference. While it is restarting, let's open the postman and we'll remove that. So first we had a px which was expecting a name. Let's write anony. Okay, now I think it is restart. If we are seeing anony, we are getting all. Why? Okay, it was expecting attribute names. Now option 1, option. Option 1 is this. So this value got into the name and it got printed. Now if I write anything else like ab plus c, so I should get as it is, that is hi abc. Now what is happening here is, since we are just telling it that this is a request param, it the request param gets the decoded one. So the one we are sending, it is not going to expect accept as is. Okay, but the same is not the case with path variable. If I am going to write px third, that is instead of this px third, and I'm going to write here ab plus c, I'm going to see plus as it is, because here we are simply fetching whatever it is written in the flower braces, we are fetching here, so it is not the encoded one. But when we are going to use a request param, it is not going to accept the illegal character. So that is recommended when we want to avoid any kind of security flows. So that was regarding the get mapping. Now we'll focus on post mapping. So the basic difference between get and post is the get mapping inputs can be seen by the anyone who is like sitting in between, or anyone who is sitting beside you, but the post is not like that. We are sending content as a response or as a header, as a body of the request, so it will not be visible to the end user. So coming to that, we are going to have at the rate post mapping annotations, and we are going to write API slash test post in double quotes, my bad, double quotes, and then at the rate, no, response is not required for the public string test post, and the body that we are going to receive, we are going to catch that with response body. It might be string or it might be anything. So string name, and then here we are going to return name. So this is something response body, why it is giving annotation not applicable to parameter. Let's see, string public required, what is wrong? Yeah, that is not response body, that is a request body. Okay, now that name we can access it here. So this is what we did the same with the get mapping. So this will work. Now let's make it a little bit different. Let's create a new class, and that class will call it as new class, we'll call it as vehicle. Okay, and we'll add some string type, string, color, integer, seats. This is fine. Now to create a getter setters and all, we'll use constructor is this, and then we'll have some getter setters for all three of them. Okay, we'll get it back to the top. So basically we have a class vehicle which is having three attributes: type, color, and seats. Okay, so why I created this class is just to make it a little bit different. Vehicle. So here we are expecting string is also a class. So instead of a class which is string, I'm expecting a class which is vehicle. That's it. Okay. So here I'm going to print vehicle dot get color plus. Okay. Let's write something. Your vehicle type is vehicle dot get type. Let me write this and then I'll can resume the. Okay, so this is the information that we are expecting. We are expecting a class called vehicle. Now let's restart. Meanwhile, we'll create the body for this. We have type, color, and seats. Okay, open postman. Let's create one more. Our request type will be post, and our URL will be localhost 8080. Our body will be a JSON format. So text JSON will open JSON. We're going to set type as bike, color as red, and seeds. It was seeds or something else. Yeah, it was seeds. So for seeds we have one bike seed. That's fine. Now I think our application is up. Now if we hit it, we should get this thing as a output. Postman send. Did we got it? Yes. Your vehicle type is bike, and so there is one more thing, bonus point we can say. So here we have something called toString method as well. So what toString does is when we try to print an object, by default it will print a hash code of it. So if you want to print something else apart from the hash code, we'll create a function like this. String toString, which is overriding the default toString, and it will print all whatever attributes it is there. So this will come into execution when we try to print object directly. Let me show you. So here, instead of writing all this, I can write vehicle. Okay, so let's, it is giving some error. Yeah, now we are expecting vehicle instead of a string. We'll do the restart and again we'll send the same input. Let's confirm whether the restart is done. So how to change the port, default properties, etc. We'll see in the later videos. Now our thing is, yeah, we are going to send this body and the response will be, yeah, this is. Now this how we are getting, this is the default function which is executed when we are trying to print or we are trying to fetch an object directly. So that was regarding get mapping and post mapping and toString methods. So in the upcoming videos we are going to learn about annotations and if possible other mappings, request mapping. Okay, so request mapping is when we don't want to mention external explicitly whether it is a get mapping or post mapping, but if that API URL is matched, the function will get executed. But there is one more attribute if we add request mapping. So request mapping. Here we have method. We can mention method. Okay, let me see. Method dot method is equal to, or else what is that, attribute name. Yeah, it is simply method. And what is the type of that method? Request method dot delete get post put. Okay, so basically delete is like self-explanatory. Delete is for deleting, get is for fetching, head is, I don't know head is for what, but then post is for creating a new record, put is for modifying the existing record. That is the general recommendation, or we can say stereotype, but we can use it, instead of put we can use post, or instead of post we can use put, but that is not recommended. So yeah, like this also we can write a post mapping, and if we write get, we can modify the get mapping. So, that was request mapping, but it is good if we tell in specifically explicitly that this method is meant for this kind of mapping. That is again a recommended behavior. So if you have any queries regarding the REST controller, don't ask about annotation, that we'll discuss in a separate video. But so far with this development, if you have any queries, you can write down in the comment section. Thank you.